Hello everyone, it's Christina from Christina's Art Corner. Welcome if you're new, welcome back. If not, I have some items to haul and share with you. I have a few books and then I have several supplies. So I figured we would go ahead and start with one, which is the Coloring Journal 2024, Make Your Coloring Journey Easier. And this book I purchased from Colorful Diary 2018 on Instagram. She says, "Thank you very much for your order. I hope you are excited as much as I was when I opened it for the first time. I put a lot of energy and love to this journal. I wish you happy writing and more organized coloring. Colorful Diary." And there is her information if you are interested. In 2024, a couple of things that I want to change, one of them being organization and then a balance of what I'm coloring. So this is hopefully going to aid in that. Has a nice matte cover. And then your first page is this coloring journal belongs to. Name, email, your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And then let your coloring journey start now. With cute little butterfly images. And then here it has in the front, books to complete, books to touch. Now for me, I don't generally do books to complete because I don't want to put myself under that kind of pressure. But I might try to. I might try at least a couple, maybe, to complete for 2024. Now, books to touch for me is a bitter. It is bitter and bigger. It's a bigger category for me. Books to touch, and then works in progress to finish, colored PDFs, whether they're freebies or by Etsy, whole year color alongs, which that will be really cool to have those listed out. And then you have your January calendar and a little important message here. And then it has here new books and art supplies. And then it lists your color alongs for January. More color alongs, and then buddy color alongs. And then here you have finished pages. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on each side. But I venture to say that you could probably fit 2 on each. So 36 between the 2 pages. I definitely don't finish 36 pages personally a month. But yeah, 18 would be probably a good number for me. I do use quite a few different mediums. And then you can use the date maybe you started and finished, however you want to do that. Likely I would do the date I finished. And then you move on to February. And again, she's done all of the imaging appropriate to the month. And then here, new book and art supplies, and you have a repeat. So this is going to really help me be organized. You can also jazz it up with your own stickers. It does go all the way through December. And then there's notes in the back. So if there's anything that doesn't fit into any of those categories, you can come to the back. Yeah. So it's a cute little book, perfect size. And that is definitely going to help me organize myself, and along with the Sarah Renee Clark 2024 calendar. Because for me, I need one for YouTube and then for just my regular coloring. So yeah, I'm super excited about getting this. And it came just in time for Christmas. It does come from overseas. So yeah, reach out to her if this is something that might interest you or help you in your coloring journey throughout the year. The next thing is this book, Island Escape, My Caribbean Coloring Book, by Jade Gideon, founder and designer of We Dream in Color. Color on high quality, one-sided, perforated watercolor paper, plus 10 huge fold-out drawings. Now I'm super excited for this book. I've really been missing doing more watercolor. I have several palettes that I've been accumulating and I would like to use them. So this was copyrighted in 2016. Someone had recently asked why I mentioned that in my videos. The reason I do is that, for instance, when I started my coloring journey, I was purchasing whatever hauls people were doing at the time, and most of them at the time were purchasing books that were coming out for that year. And so I thought one day, I was like, you know, all these new books are fantastic, but because I just started coloring in 2022, I missed out on everything that was published and copyrighted prior to 2022. So I went ahead and started going back recently and looking at some books, some haul videos from different folks from back in the day, 2015, 2016, and I found some really good books that I wanted to try. So that is why I do share that. For any newcomers to my channel, which thank you to all of you who are new subscribers. Many of you have mentioned that you're newbies, and trust me, I was there just like you are. And so yeah, I just try to give those little tips so that it's helpful. So we have some leaves on this first page, and we have a bird and some leaves on this. Though I've been fortunate enough to fill a string of passports with stamps from far, it's hard to read. My Caribbean childhood was such an enchantment with its vivid beauty and something spirit that I will return to renew my life with an infusion of its extraordinary brand of magic. So I won't read the rest, but yes. So that's a nice little opener. And here it says open with the little birdie. So you open this way and you get a double page spread. So we have, a paint palette and some notebooks, a bag, a camera, a bikini apparently, some shoes, a paint, sunglasses. That's so cute. I definitely love that. That's a cute way of doing it too. And here's this one. Definitely looks like a Caribbean place, an interior. And then we have a new open. And here we go. Beautiful. Look at those plants. I'm getting more into plants. Definitely amazing how your taste, or maybe your courage, maybe you get some courage, because flowers were a no-no for me in the beginning. But these are amazing. Beautiful. Reminds me of Florida. And here we go. Look at this. Fun. You can paint those all different colors. Oh, looks like an icy stand. That's cute. Snow cones. Then we have a little patterned page. Looks like we have two. And then we have some clothing items. Here it looks like we have a sketchbook drawing sailboats with some rope. And then we have a new fold-out page. Look how gorgeous that is. Beautiful, cute little bungalow. And another one right next to it. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, and I love the paintbrush on the right. I'm definitely gonna have fun doing some watercolor in here. It's something I want to be more proficient at in 2024. Here's the beach and beautiful palm trees. Got some clouds. Another beautiful little pier with a boat, a couple boats. Gorgeous. Vernon's Cozy Bar. That looks like a fun place to go. And then we have another open. Look at that. That's amazing. Beautiful. Ooh, and another one. Look how fun. These are definitely going to be a lot of fun to color. Yep, for sure. Look at this cute little place. Oh, and we have another fold out. Wow, look at this one. Look how cool that is. Oh, look at this cute little donkey. One love. Looks like a fruit stand. Some signage. We have a headdress. Maybe a carnival. Yep. Oops. Look how cute that is. I love that. And then we have another surprise. I absolutely love these. So excited. Paper is amazing. It does have a texture, like a linear texture. Another double page spread. The ink on this side is a little light. Very, very cute little cottages. Oh, bless. Very interesting architecture, which I'm very much into. I've got some flags. Looks like a fountain. A little postcard with something yummy to drink. And then another flap opening. Beautiful. Oh, how fun. Look at all the seashells. And we've got some hummingbirds. And some fronds. And it tells you here, gingerbread house. Boiling copper. One of my favorite features of the Caribbean garden was a water garden made from a massive old copper. So that's cute. She tells a little bit about each place. So that's fun. The Cocoa House. Yep, it was Carnival. So yeah, I'm very enamored with this book. And there are other books like this. So I'm probably gonna build up maybe a couple more of these books here in the near future, because I do want to get back to my watercolors with me. I think I learn a lot. I think it helps you all too, those that want to learn a little more about watercolor. We do it together. So that's Island Escape by Jade Gideon, and I did get this from Amazon. I was thinking it was eBay, but I'm sure the others too are on eBay, but I think there's like a series of them. So yeah, really excited about that. And then I finally got a copy of the Meine Reise, durch, Afrika by Rita Berman. I know there's been an enormous amount of flip-throughs on this book. Just want to not break the spine, but make it a little easier to see. There we go. I've seen a lot of beautiful colored pages in this book, and I'm looking forward to coloring in this myself and see what I come up with. I love these kinds of pages here where all the little things are. So cute. And the airport scene, that's fun. Cairo. I love the little cats. Beautiful. I'm wondering what book she'll come out with next, where she will have been. It's kind of a fun journey she has us on. I love this page. This is probably one of the first ones I would want to tackle. Of course, a double page spread. Tanzania, Kenya backpack. These are awfully cute too. Yep. So yep, I went ahead and got it. Looking forward to, I want to do a little more coloring in her books in 2024 too. They've gotten a little neglected over the past year. But yeah, super excited to have this book, and it's such a beautiful cover, isn't it? Love, love. Okay, I think we're into supplies. And the first one I wanted to share with you is this Ampersand hardboard. It's 12 by 16. Let me get you out of the lights. It's a 12 by 16, 1/8 panel. Better support from start to finish. So I actually got one of these, and I didn't show it on a haul because it was just something that I was going to use for myself personally. But I found that it's really great to have either on my table, like so. That actually might help me center where I'm at on my filming. But yeah, it's a nice board. It's smooth. And here it shows hardboard, Ampersand. Yeah, it's just really great. Like, even if you want to color in bed, to have a hard surface. Yeah, I'm just super excited to have these. And one of the reasons is that I can put this really large book. I started this book, must have been 2015, I want to say. I have on here kkingcreations. That's what my name was prior to YouTube. And I started off, this is a 11 by 14, I believe. But I started off with these mixed media pages. Boy, I have a lot to learn on doing my own faces. And look, I gave her a black outline on her lips. But I had so much fun. I did collage with acrylics over it. And then I did some collage over on this page. And then what I would generally do is gesso the center to put a face on it. But I wasn't feeling that the day that I did this. So I made a little fairy house on a tree. And I made these stamps from scratch. I got the little putty pads and then used the knives and created like these dots and these hibiscus flowers. Yeah, so just tried my hand at some of my own work. And then here, there's a funny story. I used to play around a lot with unicorn spit, which is also Michelle Nicole's Artistic Vivations. So her unicorn spit was actually sold to Walmart's, Michael's, several of the craft stores. And then she wound up, these are home brewed. She was brewing these out of her garage in her home, in her kitchen. And I've used these recently in a couple pages in December. Both of these. The Michelle Nicole's Artistic Vivations. So instead of getting rid of the paper towels that I would use to wipe up whatever I was doing, because I was staining furniture at the time with these, I was doing all kinds of things. So I wound up using paper towels that had been soaked in all of the different colors. And I collaged them and put a Mod Podge over them to make sure that we had a good sticking element there. And then I made my own paste for stencils. And this is still needing to be finished, but I was trying it out, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll slap it on there. This was a collage too, and I wound up getting some muddy colors because I was absolutely new to all of this. And it does have some cool elements if you look closely. But I also again tried out my paste that I made, and this little stencil got a little too thin. So I have work to do back on some of these, but I was basically creating these so that I could go back when I had the inspiration to finish them. And then this one over here, I have collage in the background, and then I ripped off some pages I didn't like, kept what I did, and then did a gesso over it. So I still have to finish that one. And then I did this one, and this is collage. You can see some music notes over here and some books that I had, different collage papers. And then all of this is 3D. This whole area is 3D. I'll just give you a closer look at it. So yeah, this was lots of fun. It was my first time gold leafing. A lot of firsts. Again, I used my paste in here. All of my supplies that I had, I wound up using. And I think it turned out really cute. I remember I had all of these like jelly plate things that I created. Some of these letters. So yeah, I'd like to get back to doing some of these things. If you're at all interested, let me know. I could maybe have a little series if you're interested in completing some of these. And so, day before yesterday, I was like, let me pull out that book. And so I did, because it's been kind of hiding away for a while. And I pulled out some of my acrylics, and I went ahead and created 2 backgrounds in acrylic. And I used a credit card, I used a palette knife, I used a towel to kind of rub some things off. I used water drops. I took the end of a paintbrush to create little designs. And then I splattered some gold paint on there, if you could see. And it's really loose, like it's not hard. It's really, really nice paper. It's Strathmore book. So yeah, I just had lots of fun. And then when I come up with an idea of what I want to put on here, that's what I'll do. So I've been organizing some of my mixed media supplies so that I can have easier access to them. And so yeah, something that I plan to do on my own, but if you'd like to be included in either how I make a background or what I might put on this, whatever the case may be, just leave me a comment below. And so I have several pages left to do. And again, this is the Strathmore 500 series mixed media paper. So yeah, it has served me well. And I need to get back to doing this kind of stuff because I really enjoyed exploring art in this way. And it's super fun to see the exploration and in your mind and the things that you're interested at different time points. Like I went from a portrait to a fairy house, making my own stamps and creating my own paste, you know. So yeah, look forward to it. At the very least in my completed pages, I'll give you a brief look-see at maybe something that I've completed. But if you're interested, I realize it's not directly coloring related. It's more mixed media on its own. But, you know, I do mixed media coloring pages too, so it kind of flows, I figured. But yeah, I use this board, the 2 of them, next to each other. And it allows me to open this book on my flimsy bed with my blankets and things because it's winter. So yeah, that's that. Now, the next little project that I want to do is I want to make my own stickles. And so I looked up some ways to do so. And I saw that you need clear tacky glue. I did have tacky glue, but it was not clear. So I got the bundle of 3 on Amazon because I can also use them for my mixed media pages too. So we have tacky glue. That's your main ingredient to make your own stickles or glitter glue. To go along with that, I got these ultrafine glitter powders, which is from Renfio Ultrafine Glitter Powder. So look at that. Look how amazing that is. And it has a little scoop area. Maybe I'll be daring and open it and make a mess all over my desk, or not, if I'm careful. So yeah, here's the glitter. Look how pretty that is. It's beautiful. So I thought that would be a good one to try. And then I got this. This one is holographic laser deep pinkish. This one was holographic mint blue. So let's go ahead and be adventurous and open this one too. Look at that beauty. Here you can see on the lid the color shifting to the holographicness. So yeah, I thought that would be a neat color to do. And then I got this one, which is mica powder slice of the moon, goes a long way. And it's actually a cosmetic mica. Okay, so here is what this one looks like. Really, really pretty. So I'll be anxious to see what that one looks like. Slice of the moon for art projects. Then I went ahead and got some of these containers. So it's 4 pieces of round, clear, wide mouth, leak-proof plastic container jars with lids. And here is what they look like. So it's a nice little jar and lid and clear so you can see what's in it. Now for me, a lot of times with stickles, I do like having the nozzle at the top, but I also like to dip a brush in here. So that's why I thought I would go ahead and get some of those. Now you all have seen me use these. Back a while ago, I bought 15 pieces of the precision tip applicator bottles for painting. And here you have this little small, I use it for, here's one right here that I need to cap. So I use it for my watercolors, but I thought this would also be good. Now I'm not sure if the glitter is going to come through such a fine tip, but I will try. I think as far as mixing in there, it could be an issue, but I'm willing to try it. Let's put it that way. So I think I'll put these jars in here for now. Yeah, just to have them in one spot. So that's my idea on that. There are other bottles that I can get that are like the stickle bottles that maybe I might wind up purchasing. But yeah, here, 15 pieces precision tip applicator bottles. And they're 1 ounces. So yeah. And then, so we could have a variety besides the 2 that I chose. I wanted to get some different mica powders, fine glitters. This is Tinator Fine Glitter. And they use this for slime. It says anyway. And I thought, well, that could also be used for some stickles. And I don't know about you all, but stickles, man, they are really expensive. And I mean, I will buy expensive art supplies, don't get me wrong. Like, stickles isn't gonna, you know, make a huge break in my budget, but I just figured it would be fun to make them. So I want to open this carefully, not to disturb these glitters. Just butchered that. Okay. So let's see what we have here. So we have this really, really pretty turquoise. Really, really pretty. We've got this, excuse me, like hot pink. And look at this really pretty blue that like has some silver and black in it. And then we have like an orangey red. And look at this really pretty, like ocean blue. And then beautiful yellow, like a canary. And then a really pretty gold. And then look at this teal. Ooh, nice. And here we have a violet pink. And looks like we have a dark silver. And another gold. And we have a black. That'd be cool. We have, looks like a Christmas red. And we have another silver. Look at this green. That's pretty. And then here we have a turquoisey aqua color. And then a lighter pink. And then here's a pinky purple. And then here's like white as snow. So yeah, I think there's a lot of, let me close this up and show you. There's a lot of cool colors in here. We'll look at through all different angles. So look at that selection. That's pretty cool. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing me tackle making my own glitter glue, leave a comment below and let me know that that is something you would be interested in. And I will oblige. So I'm going to make them anyway, so if it's something that winds up being cheaper for you too, barring it's successful, then, you know, hey, you save some money. And then, let's see here, I got some of these Boston Bulldog clips. They're 3-inch wide. I have been in desperate need of these things, and this book, because I have the flimsy, here, I'll just show you. By the way, I also need to try out the masking powder on video if you're interested in that too. Instead of liquid, it is powder. Lindsay Frugal Crafter had introduced that recently. So I have these clips, which you can see they're few and far between, and the sizes aren't always what I need. So I went ahead and got these. I also want to be doing a lot more personal journaling, so yeah, sometimes you just need a big clip. And so that will be helpful for these things, and also for my coloring pages. So I got a bunch of them, so I shouldn't need a resupply for a while. But I do use them for a lot. I have an easel over to my left that I also plan on breaking in. I mean, I've had it for several years, but I've moved it to another place in my room so that it's staring at me, and I have a canvas already gessoed and ready and waiting for me to do something about it. So when the mood strikes me, again, if you're interested in seeing that, you let me know. But yeah, good sturdy clips if you are in need of these. It does help because some of the books just don't stay open, so it's nice to be able to have something that actually will keep them open, and it's by X-ACTO. And then I got a fun art supply, which is liquid chalk markers, 8 colors, reversible tips, chisel, and bullet. So we have here 8 colors. You know, I was thinking pastels wise, that I do have several different types. Definitely ones that I recommend that are a little more on the pricey side. But also I know like Mungie Oak is very popular. They're the first ones that I ever got. But these liquid ones really intrigued me because I thought that'd be kind of cool for a background. And you wouldn't have to deal with the powder. So I've already primed these. You do it just like an acrylic marker. And I'll just swatch them for you. There's some pretty colors. They come out really nice and dry as a chalk. It's a nice blue. It's a nice green. I really like the colors. Here's a light purple lilac. And this one is kind of like a reddy, browny red. Here is white. Should show up a little bit on my slightly cream paper. And then I have a blue, a darker blue. And then a yellow. Let's get this out of the way. So yeah, I think you get some really cool colors. I'll set them off to the side to let them dry. But here they are in their glory. So yeah, I thought, you know, it's kids, for kids, right? Erasable, water-based. But I thought that, and they look very much like a Posca, by the way. But I thought these would be really, really cool. They're by Bandle B. And I did get them on Amazon. Everything that I have here, wherever I have gotten it from, I will put down. Yeah, so it says recommended ages 3+. So shake, press, draw, reversible tips. Remove tip with tweezers or paper towel over a piece of scrap paper, reverse, and insert back in the pen. Gently press down on tip and release to ensure tip is fully set. I actually really like the tip that's already in there, so I don't think I'll go through that mess. But it says here it's by 5 Star North, Nashua, New Hampshire. And they have a Facebook. And it shows like you can use on chalkboard, plastic, glass, so on and so forth. So yeah, I just thought that would be kind of fun to try out on a background. So I'm definitely going to try to find a page that I will be my guinea pig page. So something new to me that could be lots of fun. And then I got a watercolor set. It's the Paul Rubens 14 colors, 5 mls. And of course we have our swatch cards right here. So maybe we could do that if you're interested. I could do it at the end if you'd like, but I'll just go through because you may not be interested because it is the neon set. So we have the opera rose, opera red, violet, purple, ultramarine, green, golden, yellow, so on and so forth. So I may do that towards the end, but yeah, I thought this would be a nice addition. They're in tubes, so I was clearing out an empty palette I had, and I have like 10 empty quarter pans, and I need 12. So might have to get a few of those off of Amazon. But yeah, that's the Paul Rubens 14 colors. Super cool. I'll leave that to the side to remind me to swatch them at the end. And then my trusty Etsy supplier of my sparkling watercolors. So she sent me some coming soon little dot cards. Oh, look at that. Silver. Oh, and that one's a color shift. So yeah, really cool colors there. And then I get mystery boxes from her. And here we go. All right. So I just tell her kind of, oh, I'd like to see some pinks, or like I give her an idea and then she just runs with it. And then she winds up giving me some test items to try out, some new things that she's working on. I'll leave the information in the description, but I figured if I'm going to swatch the Paul Rubens that I'll swatch these two for you. Look how beautiful these are. Some really, really pretty ones. Gorgeous. And then she swatched them out all for me. So gorgeous. But yeah, that is from Sparkling Watercolors, and she's a factory girl on Instagram. So we could swatch those. And then next up, by the way, these have dried for the most part. There's just a slight wet on the blue. But look how cool they are. Nice coverage, very opaque. Yeah, I'm excited about these for sure. All right, next up are sheet protectors. I got 100 pack of them. And this will make sense if I show you what I got with it. I got a 3-ring binder. Again, this was from Amazon. 100% recycled content with at least 80% post-consumer fiber. So I've got the round rings. It was important for me to have these so I don't kill my arm trying to pull these apart. And we have the little slots here. And so my intent is to fill this up with these sheets. Let's make sure we're fitting here. Oops, I just hit my head on the camera. Oh gosh. Let's just do a couple of them. Ooh. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So the intent behind these, a while ago I bought from Temu some of these little books that already had the sheets bound into them, but you have a limited number of them. I want to say that there's 20, don't quote me, but I think that's about it. So let me move this 3-ring binder here to show you. So for 2024, one of my plans is to get all of my swatches in one spot. So my colored pencils I have in here so far, somewhat alphabetical order, my Brute Funer squares, my Black Widow, and my Derwent drawing pencils. This was from the Ruby Charms. And although it served its purpose in the beginning, I'd like to have them all like the same, as much as I could anyway. Here is the Holbein 150 set here. And then I have my Indra Creative pastel pencils and the Uli pastel hues, the Brute Funer macaron pastels. And I have my Luminance by Caran d'Ache and the Lyra Rembrandt Polycolors. Love those. And then my Pablos. There's Pablos again. And then my Polychromos. Here's my Prismacolor family chart. My Spierfarben. My Tombow Aragitins. And look, there's 10 missing and I haven't bought them yet. I did say that I was going to put these inside of the actual pencils. I was going to put them in a case. I haven't found a case that I want to put them in yet. And then I have Colors of the World Crayola swatches, skin tones, which also led me to the Lyra Giant Skin Color 12 set, which is these here. Funny story. I was going to give these to my grandchildren for Christmas, but I had them already, but I thought it'd be cute like stocking stuffer, but I decided to keep them because they smell like all of these, like the pineapple smells like pineapple. So I haven't put them back in their place. That's why they're in the wrong place. But yeah, those were cute. I kept them for myself. They can use them when they come over. So here are the Lyra Color Giants. And I like some of these thicker pencils. Helps when you have wrist and or arthritis, those kinds of issues. But you have all these skin tones, right? And here's one more. So this is the 12. And I liked that it had some of the darker skin tones in it too. So that's what that swatch is. And the reason I have those in that container, which is actually, it's a really cute container. You put a candle in it and then it lights through this part here. It's a beautiful cobalt blue. So a rabbit hole that I started going down is to download from Color with Claire the skin tone charts from the different companies. So the Black Widows I'm just going to bring my stuff out here. So I have the Crayola Colors of the World. I have those here. And these I used to have like up against the wall that you can't see. I was able to use these stickers and I just stuck them to the wall and I had them all lined up and a bunch of little supplies in there, and it was really cute until the different parts of the season, because it's an outer wall, they started to come off. And see how you had glued them to there. But it was a good organization. But so I have all of these. They'll just make more sense here. Okay. So I took out some of my luminance, all of the skin tones, for instance. Here we go. And I'm going to try to get that glare off because I know that is so annoying. All right. So the luminance, all of the pencils of the luminance that I have in here are for skin tones. And I thought long and hard about it. Do I really want to have a bunch of separated skin tones? And I do, because another goal that I have for 2024 is to do more portraits. And I also have my complexion set here from Prima. And I don't know, like, they call it like a skin tone set. There's definitely some skin, but it's a lot of yellowing and stuff. And then there's a gold. It's a really pretty gold, actually. And I've got paper stuck to it. So I haven't used it very much because, again, I had the intent to do what I'm doing now a long time ago. But sometimes when you get to coloring, some of these projects go out the window. You know what I mean? So I'd like to incorporate these watercolors. So I want to swatch these for skin tones. And then I have my Prismacolor skin tones pulled out. So all of those are in here. And that is a separate, you can get the Prismacolor skin tone set on Amazon, which is what I did. So these are not part of my regular circulation, so I won't have to worry about them being out of my case. And then I have, yeah, it's Luminance and Prismacolor in here. So that's those. And then, looks like one of my chunkies got in here, so we'll put that chunky back. And then in here, I have a dual metallic I can put back. Was wondering where that was. Okay, so we have the Koh-i-Noor Polycolor skin set. We have the Castle Art skin set. And that's these. There's that Opera Rose. And yeah, so Koh-i-Noor, Castle Arts. And that's pretty much what's in this one. Want to put those all in a case. I'd like to put all my skin tones in a case so that I have these to refer to. So you have your polychromos, the luminance, the Prismacolors that I've done so far. And yeah, so that was the point of me separating those. Some of them were actually skin tone kits, so I don't have to worry about, you know, losing out the luminance. Now, that's where I was having trouble whether or not I would miss those in my regular circulation of the luminance pencils. But I'll tell you, I don't use them terribly often in my books. So I don't think it will be a problem, but we'll see. But I need to get all of this stuff sorted. So I want to have all of my colored pencil sets swatched in as cohesive order as I can. Like, I have these color charts from Color with Claire. I love some of the pencil sets that I have. She doesn't have sheets for. Some of them I just haven't downloaded to do the extra swatching. So there's that. It's hard when you're doing regular coloring to really stop and do this stuff, you know. And then I have my Stabilo Othello Pastel pencils. So I have that in there. And then I would want to move into all of my watercolors. So that's why I needed a bigger envelope. So that kind of gives you the idea behind why I have a big 3-ring binder, so that I can have everything in one spot. I have a perfect spot on top of my art cabinets where I can have both the swatch book and maybe my skin tone set next to it too. Okay, so that's my idea behind that. Okay, I just got a delivery from Blick, so I figured I would go ahead and insert this into the video, and then after we'll do swatches of the sparkling watercolors and the Paul Rubens set that I got. So what I got from Blick was not this. This was a previous haul, but I want to use the paper. And this is 140 pound paper, 300 GSM. It's a 12 by 18. And I figured for this next part, we might need it. Okay, I'll first go with books. I was in need of some watercolor. This is the Arches Travel Journal Watercolor, cold pressed, 140 pound, 300 GSM. And it's 15 centimeters by 25 or 6 by 10 inches if you're here in the US. And so I thought this would be a nice little size in order for me to do some watercolor journaling. So there's that. I love Arches. It's worth the extra money if you're going to do a lot of watercolor. And for this, I got a Stillman Burn Premium Sketchbook Mixed Media, because you know I've been mentioning mixed media, and I thought this was a perfect size. It's 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. It's 270 GSM, acid free, and it's showing on here you can write, paint, do all the things. Dry and wet media, watercolor, ink, techniques, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And I love the blue. I'm a blue girl. And it's stitch bound. And here's where I was telling you about needing these clips. So what I'm likely to do if I want to do a double page spread is I'll put some washi tape on there, right? And this will hold the book down. And that's about where my washi tape would be. So it's nice and flat, because when you're doing watercolor, you don't really want to have a lift, you know, in your pages, because it'll make the watercolor run. So you want as flat a surface as you can get. So that's another reason why I got these. All right, next up is these Colorcraft Colors and Adhesives Brush Show Crystal Color Craft Spitzer set. So there's Sunburst Lemon Orange, Crimson Violet Turquoise, and Sea Green. Beautiful packaging, very colorful. Okay, so they have lots of different colors besides the ones that I got. But it says, create bursts of vibrant color for backgrounds. Spritz water onto card or water color paper. Sprinkle the crystal color over it and watch it as it bursts into an amazing firework of color across this page. Leave the background as it is or add additional effects. You can spritz it again, add additional colors if required. You can use stencils, leave dry. So we're just going to play around. And on this piece of paper here, all right, let me get some water. I know I've got some water in my large water bottle. Let's transfer it into the spritzer because it comes with a bottle. All right, so we filled that up. I've already made a couple of drops on there. And let's get some stencils. Let's see, we have a floral pattern. I'll put these to the side. And try to get some off of this ring here, which I've just opened. All right. So we have these flowers, raindrops, ornaments. We could try those. Let's see here. Got cheetah and leopard prints. We have, that one's cool, some lines. Have all different kinds of designs here. I'm just wondering if it's going to bleed through, but we'll see. I have a wavy pattern. All right, so we'll try some of those and see if they work. Now I'm thinking if you sit this in something wet, so maybe what we want to do is do a section the way they say to do it, and then we can be creative. Maybe that's what I'll do. All right, so let's look at these little pigments here. I want to be careful getting it off. Do you pop it? Do you pull it? Oh, I don't know what to do. There. Yep, you pull it. Okay. All right, there's some powder. And this is the violet. So let's just see. Let's spritz some areas. All right. Let me get the light on here. So we're gonna do little couple spritz, and let's go for blue. Now probably I'm thinking maybe just to get a little bit. Ooh, look at that. And then I could probably spritz some more and make a mess all over my table, which is exactly what I thought this might do. Let's just have that drip a little bit. Okay. All right. Let me just protect that area a little bit. Okay. So let's try green. It looks like you only need a tiny little bit. Maybe blend it a little bit. Cool. Nice. Okay. Maybe we could do the pink. Ooh, look at that burst. I was thinking here it might make it purple. Let me give that a little more water. Cool. All right. Now, can use the actual violet, maybe for up this way. Look at that effect there, it's really cool. That is really neat. Make it run. Very cool. Nice. So yeah, I think these are lots of fun. I think I could have a lot of trouble using these in a good way. Let's do the Prussian blue. Okay, let me go ahead and spritz a little more. That was predictable. Very predictable. Okay. So I'm just gonna have this flow a little bit. I don't want to lose the pink. So I could tap some of that out. So here we go. Look at how cool that is. Obviously the paper is curling because it's not an Arches block. It's just a single piece of paper. But you know what else we could do is, since it's so wet, put some salt on there. I like to use this kosher salt. And that will absorb some of the water. And give it a chance to absorb that extra water. I want to get a little more pink, actually, in some of these areas. So I think we missed out on some of that action with my first time use. So I think I'll let that dry and then we can come back and see what it looks like. Okay. So here we are, dry. And if you take a look-see, look at the results from the salt. All these little areas where it's lighter around the pigment is from the salt because it was concentrated to these areas here. And when I use the blow dryer, I just let it kind of do its thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? It was lots of fun to do this. Obviously, you need to be a little more controlled with it, and my first time definitely wasn't enough controlled. But I thought since we're here, I'm going to take some Winsor & Newton antique gold acrylic and the cobalt turquoise light acrylic. These are my favorite acrylics. And I thought that we would go ahead and put some on here. I take an old credit card, long out of use, so don't even try it. And I'll put the acrylic here, swipe it, and we'll do a stencil. So we're here, we might as well have a little fun. You can obviously go to the swatching if you want to, if you don't want to see this. I just feel like doing it, and I figured I'd film it. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to put a little bit of the gold there. If we need more, we can. And this is from that watercolor that we used, the Paul Rubens. That still can be activated for another time. And we've got a little bit of turquoise. So yeah, let's just have fun. All right, let's take a little turquoise. Might need a little more. I don't suggest you use your teeth like I did. But for the sake of filming, gotta find a way. We'll just take it as far as we can go and then just stop. Oops, I dragged it off. Okay, let's see. Pretty cool. All right, let's see what gold can do. I'm just gonna wipe off my card. And I know I'm gonna need more gold. All right, let's do, I thought we could do maybe a sun here with the gold. Now you can use a palette knife, you can use whatever you want for these. Oh, I just put my hand in the turquoise. Kind of want to do it at an angle so that you don't get underneath the stencil. There we go. So yeah, there's lots of fun to be had. That's the kind of stuff that I do on my own, more prepared or not, but that was lots of fun to use those Brusho crystal colors. I think I could find a lot of fun in those and some watercolor books as some backgrounds with some maybe using the masking powder. We could try that. So if you're interested in me, trial and error some things, do let me know if you're interested, because I will do these things on my own, but if you would like to see them, then I would certainly do it on film and have some successes. Failures I try to turn into successes even when they're failures. But this was a fun little test of these supplies, and minus my hand getting in this part. Look how cool that is. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to turn this into a, maybe I'll cut certain pieces out and use them for mixed media. Maybe some collage, although it is thick paper, but I'll find something to do with it, that's for sure. But there's the turquoise acrylic, and there is the sun. So yeah, on to the next thing. I think we're on to swatches. I hope you enjoyed this little fun we had. It's always a joy spending time with you guys. So now all I would have left, if you want to stick around, is I'm going to do some swatching. So if you're interested in that and you have time for that, stick around. I'm going to do some of that here. I'm going to get my board back because that's a nice reminder to me that I'm in frame. Okay. And let's see, I've got some water bottles. I need a couple of rags, and let's see here, I need paint brushes. Yeah, one will do actually from Blick. And then I also have my Molotow watercolor brush, is one of my favorites. And then I have more water bottles. Is that one full or empty? Yeah, I think we're running on empty. Okay, but I think I hopefully have enough to swatch. So let's start out with our Paul Rubens 14 set. Whoopsies! I could go ahead and do it on the swatch card and save me some efforts. Smarter, not harder. I think that's what we'll do. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. Let's see here. Let me get a palette. Let's get our Caran d'Ache palette here going. All right, so let's start off with the Opera Yellow. Oops. Gotta bust it first. Oh, it really helps to put the cap on right. Wow. Okay. I am so silly sometimes. Really wonder about myself. Okay, so let's just start out with that. And I'll get a little water action on there. Okay. All right, so there's the yellow. It's looking mighty bright. And now we have our opera golden. These tiny little tubes are a little bit tedious. Okay. Opera golden. I'll start off heavy and then bring some more water out. There we go. Okay. And then we've got our orange red. Okay. Very nice. Next one up is our orange. Can't wait to get these in some quarter pans. Here's our orange. Oops. Okay, there's the orange. And then we have opera light red. Sometimes, like when you open these, it's like you bust open the volcano. The volcano of color. Oh. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to an opera rose. Did it? Oh, it didn't do it. There we go. Okay. Opera red. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. That's rose. Okay, this is upper rose. How did I miss that? Oh, it was out of order in here. Okay, that's all right. We can adapt. Just want to put some water in here. There we go. Okay, now for our red. Okay. Now we have our opera pink. And that's this one here. Ooh, look at that. Very pretty, I must say. There are some Japanese and Korean books that, watercolor books, that have some really bright colors in it. So if you're wondering, like, what is she gonna do with those bright colors? They're pretty and all, but that's what I'm gonna do to answer your question. Yep. Well, that was a lot that oozed out. Yeah, I'm definitely not a tube girl. I definitely like things in palettes. But, okay, let's make sure we have the right thing going here. Peach. Yeah. Well, that really doesn't look like a peach, does it? I don't know about that peach. Okay, let's go with violet. Does that look like a peach to you all? It sure doesn't me. Get rid of the evidence of the pink. Okay, violet. All right, and then we've got purple. Okay. Oh, that's a really pretty purple. Okay. And then we have ultramarine. These really are pretty colors. So I'm squeezing out the water as I go down the pike to try to get a lighter version at the end. In case you were wondering, I didn't explain myself. Okay. Opera blue. Opera blue. Okay, let's try out some blue. Oh, pretty. I'm a sucker for blues. Okay. And then last but not least, and the hardest to get out, is the green. Gotta have a green. Okay. All right. So we have some nice swatches here. Oops. Looks like I got some on my table, which I'm shaking you and the camera on my desk and all kinds of things. Hope you're here for fun. Bloopers at the least. I keep telling you all I need to do bloopers. I need to do them. Okay. Let me just get my brush clean over here. All right. Moving onward. So I'm going to let these sit because I can reactivate those. Where to put them is the next question. Oh, I found a spot. There we go. Okay. All right, so that was our Paul Rubens Brights, essentially. Neons. I love their packaging. It's really pretty. So yeah, that was from Amazon. And next is the Sparkling Magical Watercolors. I won't go through and swatch these, the coming soon ones, but I will give us some swatches. Put those over there. Of some of these, and you gotta really wet these down and give them time to marinate and do their thing because they're handmade. She gives a special discount to my subscribers, so if that is you, take advantage. If you see anything you like, I do have several of her sets, and has served me well over the years. Well, probably a year, I'd say. Let me make sure you can see that. Okay. All right, so let's start left to right. Ooh, that's a really pretty one. Very nice. We've got a pink in here. It's a really, really light pink. That would be really pretty for like fairy wings, wouldn't it? It's a very delicate pink. Oh, that one hasn't had a chance to marinate. There we go. Very pretty purple. And this looks like a teal, like a greeny blue. Very pretty, gorgeous. All right, into this purple. It's very interesting purpley color. Look how pretty that is. Okay. Let's see what this orange is about. Now some of them you've got to work a little bit. Some of the pigments are like softer. I won't say pigments, I won't act like I know what I'm talking about. But some of them are easier to activate than others. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. We're getting there. Some of them, like I said, just they need time to marinate. I might go back to that one and give it time. She needs some time. Let me make sure these are all getting the activation they need. So here is the purple. So normally when I use handmade watercolors, I will let them sit for a while before I use them. But for swatching, you know, we want to get it done, right? We don't want to be here forever. So I'm kind of forcing it a little bit, which the paints don't always like. Okay, let's see about this, if we got any closer. We did. You see the difference between what we had before and what we have now? Because otherwise it's like you're just getting the surface, not getting the center pigment. There we go. Yeah, she's looking cute now. Okay. All right, moving that on to this mystery color here. By the way, she has sets. You don't have to get a mystery tin. Yeah, she has sets, named sets. You don't have to go with a mystery tin by any means. I like to be surprised because she plays around with some of her pigments and glitters and stuff, so I like to try them out and give her feedback. It's nice to be able to work with someone like that. She's a cool lady. Look at this green. Where were you for Christmas? We have this bluey green. So it's greener than the one above it. It looks like to me on first glance anyway. Ooh. Look at this one. How gorgeous. Ooh. Why doesn't my pen want to work? There we go. Okay. This one's thick and beautiful. Oh yeah, that's definitely some fairy wings action. And then we have this blue. Look at that. That's some yummy goodness ocean color right there. And then we have this one here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I hope most of you made it to this part because this is so exciting. For me anyway. I hope it is you. Oh wow, look at this. Would you look at that? Yeah, we have some gorgeousness going on here. Beautiful. And what's this one? It's got some silver and purple in it. Oh, wow. Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, that one's nice. What's this special little one here? Oh, that's another good fairy wing. Oh yeah. Now we've got this pink. Look at that. Gorgeousness. Oh my gosh, I'm so pleased with these. Look at this one, you guys. I mean, come on. Look at that. Look at that goodness. Okay, let's move to purple with some gold flaking here. Oh, wow. I see you. Oh, yes. Gorge. Gorgeousness. Okay. Moving on to this one, which is also going to be a good fairy wing. By the way, the names of these are written on the side of her pants. So, oh yeah, this is really pretty. That's gorgeous. Really nice. Oh wow, look at this one. Oh my gosh, the bluey purpleness. I am living for that. All of these. I'm living for all of them. Now we got to try out this pink. Oh. Oh goodness. Tell you what, I'd be hard pressed to find a favorite. They're so unique. And we'll try these little goodies down here at the bottom and see what they're all about. Oh, I got some silver in there. I'll have to blend that. Oh. Very pretty. That's really, really pretty. See what this little guy has to offer. Oh, what is this? Trying to figure out what's in here. It's like gray and pink. That's really unique. That's really cool. Might have to get more of that. Let's try this green. Oh yeah. A real pretty green. Whoops. Absolute gorgeousness. So pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna leave these to dry and then I'm gonna come back and show you the dry swatches. Okay, we're back. So here are the Paul Rubens. They're not completely dry, and I took a blow dryer and a couple of them went rogue, but you can see have a heavier pigment here and then lighter, more water. And also here was more heavier pigment, and then here was the lighter, because as I was using the blow dryer, it was kind of blowing the water like towards this area where I was trying to do darker to lighter. But anyway, you can see you can get a variation of color, and they're all very pretty and bright. Look at this green. Look how pretty that is. So I think those turned out really well, minus my rogue swatching there. And then we have our liquid chalk markers here, all dry. And then here are the sparkling watercolors here, all swatched, and they're all dry. And look how cool these are. So if I were to have to pick some favorites, I think I really love this purple with like holographic in here. And I think this one is really cool, this color shifting one down here. I love blues and purples, of course. I love this pink here, this glittery pink. It's really, really hard to pick an absolute favorite, but this green is also really cool. These purples are so nice, and this one is a nice shifting color here. So yeah, that's Sparkling Watercolors. She's on Etsy. Again, she gives a discount code to my subscribers, which I'll include in the description below. I think we have some nice products here, and I hope that you enjoyed this haul. We have some cool books and cool supplies, and again, if you want to see anything that I've purchased other than the swatching, you let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see me do my own stickles, if you want to see some of my own original artwork, like a series of doing that, just let me know. I'd like to know what you want to see on my channel. I named it Christina's Art Corner because although I concentrate on coloring books and coloring, I do like to do mixed media projects and acrylic paintings and whatnot. So if you are interested in that, please do let me know in the comments below so that I know. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this haul, as I've said, and I hope you have a good rest of your year. I will be doing my completed pages. I have gone ahead and on Instagram and YouTube in my community tab updated you all on my hashtags that I host. So that would be Witch Cat Spooky from the book Spooky. And then for, I better get it out here. Also for Tropagoth, we are bringing this page into January because not everybody had time to get to Spooky or Tropagoth because they weren't really Christmassy. And so I'm just bringing those pages that we were going to do forward. Let me get the one out for Witch Cat Spooky. It's this one here. So that's hashtag Witch Cat Spooky. And this is the page we're doing for January. So if you want to participate, that would be awesome. For those of you who have already finished this page or Tropagoth, I will carry it into January. Don't worry, because I have them saved. With Instagram's new ways of filtering, I just try to grab them as they come on my notifications so that I can give you all of your beautiful pictures on my completed pages, a little slideshow. So that's Spooky by Sarah Suzik. I wish she would go ahead and pronounce her name somewhere so that I could not butcher it every time. But yep, that's the Spooky book that we're doing. Hashtag Witch Cat Spooky. Also for this book here, 50 Festive Themed Miniatures by Camelia Angelkova. I created a hashtag that's going into March, and it's 50 Festive Minis. That's hashtag 50 Festive Minis. So any colorings that you do in here, I've already had some people post to this hashtag. So if you would like to color in this cute book, like I said, I'm going to carry it through March because there are a lot that are not strictly just Christmas related. So there's winter themed. So yeah, we'll carry that into March. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I think that updates you. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers here in the last quarter, so I appreciate all of you who have hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit your notification bell so that you can see what I'm up to in the upcoming year and for my December completed pages. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you again for all of your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.